Oh boy, it's Pokemon Light Platinum, one of the most popular, well-known, and rather controversial ROM hacks ever made. While the game has its fans and it's definitely not bad, it's certainly not the most refined Pokemon ROM hack ever made. Again, it's not bad, but it has its issues. I mean, after all, it was originally released in 2009 with its last update in 2014, so naturally it's gonna age. So what is Pokemon Light Platinum? You might guess from the name it has something to do with Pokemon Platinum, the Generation 4 DS game, but Light Platinum is really its own beast. It's a fully fan-made Pokemon campaign hacked on top of Pokemon Ruby, all done by user WesleyFG. The game is set in an all-new region, Zhery, or Zhery. I am really bad at pronouncing things, and it has another reason to complete after Zhery called Lauren. The story is about Arceus, and at one point the professor of the game, Jasmine, even details the origins of the entire Pokemon universe, and I have to admit it is pretty cool. Foiling the plans of Team Steam, the enemy group of the game, while fun, doesn't really do too much in terms of the plot. The big bosses don't really have much personality, unfortunately. That being said, you do get to go to the Distortion World at one point, so I have to admit that is pretty cool, you know? Very similar to the plot of Pokemon Platinum, actually, in some ways. How your player character ends up being the last chance to save the universe, though, when it's pretty clear that Ash Ketchum has stronger Pokemon than you at that current point is, you know, kind of strange, but whatever, you know, save the universe and all that. There's new gym leaders, new towns, new rivals, new Elite Four members, new region champions, and even new tile sets. A lot of it is pretty impressive. It's yet another fully made-over Pokemon game, and it was done way before many of the most popular ROM hacks from today were even started. There's Pokemon from every generation up to 5, and the teams you can build in this one are great. My team ended up consisting of 2 starters from differing generations, Charizard and Meganium, a Milotic that literally carried me the whole way through, a Zoroark, oh that's just a normal Pokemon, how could I mispronounce that? A Toxicroak, and a Manectric. And boy, was the game's overall balance very skewed towards water-type supremacy, because when I say Milotic carried me, I mean it. Granted, Milotic is just a solid Pokemon, but seriously, the amount of problems I was able to deal with via my Milotic was ludicrous. Speaking of ludicrous, there are a lot of repeat NPCs, giving the exact same dialogue over and over again. This is part of a larger issue that Light Platinum has that not many can just kinda get around. It's bloated with content and much of it is repetitious and not really worth even looking at to start with. I understand most Pokemon NPCs can be useless window dressing, sure, but some of them can be useful, so when many of them waste your time by repeating what the last NPC just said, you kind of understand why it's a bit disappointing. It's really a question of quantity over quality, though what is quality in the game are the rivals. Kinda. We're immediately introduced to iconic Pokemon characters like Ash Ketchum from the anime, Red, Gold, and even the main characters from Pokemon Ranger. And for the most part, these characters end up being rivals for your character to overcome throughout the campaign. Though few of them really seem like they're canon depictions. Seeing them stroll up and challenge you to a battle, though, is fun. They don't really have much in the way of character development, sure, but who cares? You're fighting Gold and Red and Diamond. It's great Pokemon franchise fan service. The fan service gets real fun at the end of the game, during the World Championship event, or should I call it World champion. Yes, there's typos and bugs throughout the game, including a point where, since I left an area early, I had to use a Ruby GameShark code to walk through walls, just to be able to complete the game. Definitely not ideal. On top of that, there's HMs, and TMs aren't reusable, worse yet, there's new HMs that really only need to be used at one section of the game, basically assuming that you're going to play using HM slaves. Not only this, but many TMs are basically made to serve as HMs, especially later in the game, all just to clear walls that honestly couldn't be more annoying. There's just better ways to block paths for players, in my opinion. I shouldn't need to bloat my main Pokemon's movesets and or use other Pokemon I get just to get past these barriers and teach them move, and I don't know, just this was not optimized. But if we move aside from these issues, one can find that not only is Light Platinum a reasonably competent Pokemon game, but it remains one of the best fully complete ROM hacks out there. I might give WesleyFG some hard criticism in this, but it's actually still a pretty impressive achievement as a fan project. Pokemon Light Platinum is still very much worth your time, just be ready to deal with some rather slower and less optimized sections. But if you can get over these aspects, the game is definitely worthy of your attention.